In a world that often worships youth, what happens when a woman dares to step into her power later in life and shines brighter than ever? Today's guest, Kimberley Kim, is living proof that passion has no expiration date. As a mature actress blazing her own path through Hollywood, Kimberley brings depth, grace, and hard-earned wisdom to every role she plays. Her journey is extraordinary. From early challenges to rediscovering herself through the craft of acting, Kimberley has built a flourishing career across film, television, and commercials, appearing in BET's American Gangster Trap Queens, Lifetime's Secret Love Triangle, and Paramount Plus's 11 Minutes. Her on-screen presence is captivating, shaped by a lifetime of perseverance. But what truly makes Kimberley remarkable isn't just her filmography, it's her fearlessness. In an industry that often sidelines women past a certain age, she is rewriting the script. Kimberley embodies the truth that confidence, sensuality, and creativity can expand with time, not fade away. In this episode, you'll discover how Kimberley found her calling in acting and turned it into a thriving career, what it takes to stay inspired and visible as a woman in Hollywood today, the lessons she's learned about beauty, courage, and second chances, and why embracing every chapter of your story might just be the secret to true success. So if you've ever been told it's too late to chase your dream, this conversation is your reminder that your best act may just be beginning. And now, let's bring Kimberley Kim to the stage of the Human Beauty Movement podcast. Welcome, Kimberley. How are you today?
I am great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are radiant today. I'm so excited to have our conversation. You have to tell us what got you bitten by the acting bug in the first place.
I think it was typical story, a young child in a small town who loved to dress up and play. And I grew up on an island, the same one that we have Pamela Anderson and Kim Cattrall are from as well. David Foster is from there too. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a thing where we grow up in a very small town and have big eyes and want to explore the world. So yes, as a young child, I always loved putting on theater productions, and I use that term loosely for my parents. And then it grew from there. And then in Canada and British Columbia, in the mid 80s, we started to become the Hollywood of the North, as they call it, with Stephen J. Cannell doing a lot of his shows up there. So a lot more opportunities were coming from the US. They were filming a lot up there. And that's how I got my feet wet. I actually got to work on an episode of 21 Jump Street.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. I'm really aging myself, but that's what this is about. And just a side note on that, I worked on a film called Modi, which Johnny Depp directed. And when I went on set, it was actually pickup days they filmed in the US. Most of it was filmed, well, all of it was filmed in, I think, Hungary and the UK. But nonetheless, I saw him and I told him I actually worked on 21 Jump Street. He's like, you must have been a baby. I'm like, yes. I think I was like 17. And he gave me a big hug. He was super sweet. And it was just fun to reconnect. We're talking about going from being on 21 Jump Street, i.e. him starting out his career. And then now he's directing. And he was actually, it was Al Pacino who was on set too that day. So he was
hello.
Ow. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I can't believe it's gone from there. I'm like, well, you just never know, right? So it was kind of a fun little chat we had. But yeah, so that's how I got my feet wet initially in Canada, in Vancouver. And from there, I had come down to the US and ended up staying, and I was doing that in my early 20s. And then I didn't have much success, little stuff, but I took the hiatus to get married and have a child and raise my son, who's now made me an empty nester. So I was again now free to go out and explore my dreams without feeling guilty for not being a responsible parent. So yes, that's how I was able to then forge my way as an older actress.
Wow, you had such a storied beginning, and it's so interesting to see the arc of certain people's careers, like a Johnny Depp who started out and now look at him. It's like he had a little bit of a tumultuous midsection there, as some of the Brat Boys and whatnot had, and then coming back after Pirates of the Caribbean and all that, and directing, and very, very credible, and just really very much a legend in Hollywood. And for women, yeah, we take that time, we raise families, we have these shifting priorities in the middle of life. And then after that happens, I know for a lot of women, we start to lose a bit of confidence in ourselves around the empty nest time. That's when menopause might hit, and a lot of biological and just emotional mental changes can happen. And there are so many women that just kind of bow out of life and they feel like, oh, I'm over the hill. It's too late for me. But no, you actually said, no, this is actually an opportunity to get back into something that I really love, this passion that I used to have. Why not start again? Can you tell me about that experience and what that decision was like?
Well, I just have to say that menopause has been a great thing in my career.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Why tell us more about that.
Well, I do lots of commercials for people, women in menopause, and I'm one of them. So,
There you go.
I have no complaints about menopause. Uh,
Good for you, because I have many.
yes, but it served me well. So I turned it into that. But yeah, it's kind of like, you have to make a choice. And I actually found like, in my 40s, even though I wasn't acting, I was still kind of really fighting to stay youthful
Mm,
but now in my 50s, I really have just, and I think a lot of us get to that. We just really embrace it and go, this is
mm,
where it is, and this is who I am. I'm not afraid of it. I'm thrilled that I get to grow older every day.
mm, mhm,
And I really treat it as a gift.
mhm,
And we're in a really great time in that there's so many things to help us stay healthy and vibrant
mm.
and be the best us that we can be.
Yeah.
And, I don't take it for granted. I try to do all the upkeep and exercise and eat well and take care of my skin and as much as I can and deal with things as they come along. But I'm not afraid of my wrinkles. I'm not afraid of the sagging skin. I see it and I see it on camera, but that's it's okay. That's kind of the gig now. And I
Yeah.
always get a thrill of being a lot of the time the oldest person on the set. So
Oh. I admire so
happy.
much your mindset about this, because that really is it. There are
Mhm.
those that cling to the way, especially with actresses, if they've had some success in their early days and people remember them as
Yeah,
that. And it's almost
yeah,
like their identity is built on that image of them. And then they go through quite a crisis as they age and they're not really that self anymore. But
right.
those who are able to say, this is a gift, being able to get older, enjoying life. Jamie Lee Curtis, I celebrate her so much. And Diane Keaton, who unfortunately we just lost, but she was always such a representative of what it is to age gracefully and just like live out your fullest potential. And so many others that are really saying this is just like the best is yet to come. And I really
Yeah.
feel that it's like, I feel like this is like the best time of our lives. Like we are in our prime and it's just going to
Oh, yeah.
continue to get better and better. And how wonderful that you as an actress, even the close-ups on your skin and all of that. I mean, you're not self-conscious about that. I had actually worked in the beauty industry for actresses that had been really, really struggling with aging to the
Mhm.
point where some of them would not come out of the green room because they were so insecure about the way that they looked on camera and they just didn't feel comfortable. And it was really very, very difficult. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, I think that this particular episode is one where we just want to celebrate every moment of our lives where we get to show up, we get to be our best selves, we get to do work that we love and follow our passions. Hit subscribe right now for more soulful stories and inspiring conversations with me, and the Human Beauty Movement podcast. Tell us about now that you're doing acting again, what you love so much about it. What is it that continues to draw you to it?
Well, I love that because society has changed so much, there is a real demographic for people like me. We are the people with money. We're the ones buying stuff. We're the ones
Yeah.
watching a lot of movies and TV. So it's good to be able to represent that. And I think
Mhm.
that's why there is a market for it. As we get older, we gain so much knowledge, and it's great to feel wiser and be able to make really sound decisions as an older person.
Mm.
I mean, the reason I had changed my hair to gray, and that was because it was a makeup artist who told me, she's like, there's a huge amount of work for that look. And she was right. So I always, when I go out or I talk to people, I'm always like, if you need an older lady, here you go. And that's how I present myself and also how I do photos. I don't like a lot of Photoshop or airbrushing because I want casting to see what I look like. I want to look like me when I do my tapes and so forth.
Mhm.
So another thing as getting older, I really value time and I value other people's time.
Mm.
And so you come with that kind of wisdom, and that's not necessarily something in your 20s or 30s, or at least I didn't. I didn't really think about this business as a business as such. So
Mm.
that's another important aspect. Coming back into film is I really treat it as a business more than I had ever done in the
Mm.
past, because it's what you can bring to the client. That's
Oh,
what this
wow.
is about, large parts. It's all a lot of dollars and cents, and it is, especially in film and commercial world and TV, it's the bottom lines. So I work in finance, so I'm lucky that I can recognize that, but again, I didn't when I was younger. So there's that aspect of it, but also as an older person, I feel much more free to be open with I'm going to say vulnerability, and really
Mm.
take in characters and give more than I would have in the past, because I'm not as self-conscious. I'm not as worried about how I'm perceived by others, and I'm not as worried about how I look on camera. So that's not something that I had before as a younger person.
Mm.
So those are the great gifts of aging that have served me well. And that's what I bring to the business today.
I also think that there's so much like the kind of content that is on screen, especially on TV. TV is just having a moment right now well, you consider streaming TV,
Yes.
but there's so much richness in the roles. And it's not just like the glamour bot of days of
Oh,
yore where you had
no.
to look like the supermodel on screen,
Dynasty
but
and all that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like there's the messiness that is shown on
Mm-hmm.
TV that is really raw. And that really gets your attention because it's so well acted and it's so well produced that it really gets into that raw emotion and that storytelling more so than I
Mm-hmm.
think before, perhaps.
Oh, yeah. And you look a lot like I love watching like the Scandinavians do it so well. They really
Oh,
embrace
yeah.
older actors and
Oh.
men and women, and you just see such raw, deep
Mm.
characters. And a lot of the time, the older women are the leads. They're not the
Mm.
supporting, and they're not glamorized. They're like deep, wrinkled women that have lived lives, and
Mm-hmm.
that's great to see on film because their story comes through, I think, and we're not just
Mm-hmm.
and the richness of whatever it is more important than how they look.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. Storytelling is telling different things that people have gone through, and the thread that binds all of us and how we relate to it, how we get a connection, what it makes us feel. And that's, I think, what we're seeing more of rather than just looking at beautiful figures on screen. So that's the shift. we're seeing a
Mm-hmm.
lot more of that. And
Yeah. Yeah.
all these actresses that have led the way in that, and the production companies, director, all these kinds of things have really opened the door to welcoming those kind of stories. You don't just have to be a beautiful, beautiful woman and then you're done at 45 or what have you. You know what I mean? Like, we still want
Mm-hmm.
to hear about them now.
Yeah.
So that's the shift.
I think that the market also was clamoring for it because I think we got a little bit tired of just kind of seeing the same old kind of thing over and over again. And we wanted representation on the screen. We wanted to see more people that kind of mirrored
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. We always want to, I mean, watching film and TV is about having that kind of emotional connection to the character.
Uh-huh.
So, like I was talking about earlier, is how this demographic has really become a big marketplace, right? So, we want to see us on
Uh-huh.
film, and we want to see what other characters, how they're dealing with menopause, or how they're dealing with divorce or children and all that kind of stuff, being a single mother. Or there's so many different stories that have
Mhm.
been tabooed for so long, and now we see a lot more of them on film,
That's
and
true.
they're very juicy, so we
There
gotta
it's like, "Ooh, they went there. Wow."
Mhm.
Now you've played a range of characters from mothers and detectives to women carrying emotional complexity. What kind of roles speak to you most deeply?
Well, I seem to get a lot of the very kind of authoritative mother, head of household kind of
Mm.
characters, seem to have that kind of look. But I
Uh-huh.
really do love playing those. I like horror movie. I like being in those.
Oh.
They're always a lot of fun because there's usually a lot of depth, psychological depth of how they got there, what kind of trauma they've gone through to make them what they are. So I enjoy that. And it's also always empathetic to your character because you have to be that way or you can't play it. You know, you can't think
Mhm.
of yourself as an evil person. It's always she has a purpose or she has a reason for why she is the way she is.
The backstory, yeah.
So you look for that. But I like those darker characters a lot of the time.
Interesting.
And so, yeah, whenever I get a chance to do it, I always grab them.
So how do you even prepare for a role like that when it's like, "Okay, I'm not a psychological killer," and, like, all these things,
Yeah.
but when you see some of those clips of you, I was like, "Oh, wow."
Yeah.
You know, it's, like, in the eyes and the menacing
Mhm.
kind of demeanor and all that. How do you prepare for something like that?
Well, of course, it's always down to the script. I mean, that's always number one. And understanding the relationship with the other characters. But it's no, there's always a part of you in it. I always say it's just me kind of interpreting
Mhm.
who the character is and what I bring to it. So I do reading and kind of think, why would she do that? Or because there's not a lot of underlay of the
Mm.
script. I mean, they
Mhm.
give you something, but you could certainly go deeper. I look at it like that of why would she do that? And then whatever's in me will create whatever that uniqueness is that I bring to it. So that's what makes all actors different is that unique quality they have that whatever quirks or nuances
Mhm.
that come with it. So being, and of course, listening, that's always, I think, the most interesting part is listening to the script, listening to the other characters when you're doing with your scene partner, showing that you're in it,
Mhm.
you're in that moment, and however you're reacting. Because acting is very technical. You got to be
More
on
so
your
than people realize, yeah.
and then the key is listening because you're reacting to something. When you want to show that reaction in your eyes in the moment, even though your cue is always from what the other person is saying, if you're in another scene or if you're thinking, you have to show what's going on in your head just through your
Mm.
eyes, right? And that's the trick. So that's
Yeah, I think a lot of people would be
Mhm.
curious about when you get a script, you audition for it sometimes, and I guess most of the time, some people are lucky enough that they don't have to audition for roles. But once you land that opportunity, what is it like in terms of preparing once you get the script, once you know who your role is, who your castmates are, and whatnot? I suppose, when is it that you actually get together, do your readings? When do you rehearse? Like, how does that all come together?
Oh, well, it's all such a mixed bag. I mean, most of the time you don't get to rehearse. Most of the time you don't do table reads. So you really go in and I work with a lot of people. And so I mean, a lot of the time I work with the same people on numerous different things, or I
Sure.
know
They'll come,
crew
they
or
know
something.
you
It's a
and
small town. Yeah.
yeah.
But it is, so you just can bring your preparedness, because if you don't get that luxury of rehearsing or doing a read through, you just have to come with your prep. And that's number one. Obviously, I have to come in knowing my lines, having an idea of how I think at least I'm going to react.
Mm,
And things will change when you're actually working with your scene partners and so forth. But having an educated guess about how things will go and using common sense, and depending on the project, I mean, is it way out there kind of stuff? A lot of the time we don't know how the director wants, what his vision is, because you won't learn a lot of the time till you're on set.
amazing.
Yeah, so it's bringing to the table what you know you can bring. And then the other thing, which I think is super important, is being flexible, learning how to take direction quickly and not being stuck in what your own ideas are, because certainly when you come to set there, I guarantee your thought will be different than what they envisioned.
Mm, mm.
Cameraman or the director or the producer or the client, if it's a commercial, what they want and how they see things. So being open to all that,
Ah,
that takes creativity, learning how to change or being able to change quickly what you had thought or interpreted things to be. So I say that's a really good skill set. And I've learned that that's super important
yeah,
in the
and not
last few
taking it
years.
personally because it's like you're on the clock,
Yes, yes,
you've got a
yes.
job to do. You're really very
Mhm.
professional about that.
Yeah, yeah. You're there to serve, and you're there to play your role, and you're there not to waste people's time. And like you
Mhm.
said, be that professional person, because there's a lot of moving parts and you're just
Oh,
a
yeah.
small part of it. Even though you're the one in front of the camera, there's so much more that goes into
Oh,
all
yeah.
this stuff. I just commend all the crew and production, because I think my part's the easy part compared to what they do. They do so much.
Yeah, shout out for all the crew that
Mhm.
works so tirelessly to bring things together.
Yes.
It's quite extraordinary. It is quite a dance. The whole thing is just really, really remarkable how a lot of these come together. Mm,
Yes. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. So,
Now, you've collaborated with so many different directors, different actors. What have been your most memorable or even transformative experiences on set?
well, certainly, like I said, working with Johnny Depp, that was awesome. I won't complain about that.
Oh, no.
And then a lot of like coming up directors, like I've done a lot of independent films and
Oh,
watching
fun.
them grow and work on new projects with them as they've evolved.
Oh, that's nice.
That's neat to see. And then working I did a commercial with Mario Lopez recently, and
Oh,
watching him work when he's spot on and he's very,
talk
you
about a
know,
fellow who doesn't age.
mhm. That is
I
very
swear.
true. Very true.
I first met him, I was doing some PR work for L'Oreal, and it must have been like 30 years ago. I mean, it was a long time ago. He looks exactly the
Yeah.
same. It's
Yeah, he does.
amazing.
Flawless. Flawless skin. Yes, indeed.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
it's served him well. So, yes, and he's got great look and a really fun demeanor about him.
Mhm.
So, Yeah, but people, it's great. You learn being the actor, because you work with so many different people all the time, different actors. You work with method actors, and that's a whole different thing. You work with people that don't want to like work with you. They want to go in, they have their way, and you got to work around that. I've definitely worked with actors where they were on a totally different wavelength. They weren't giving what
Oh,
was in the scene, and you got to compensate. So there's all these different things you
keeps you on your toes.
it does. Yes, it does. But you can't expect people to bend for you. You need to be able to bend to the situation. So that's what I mean by flexibility. And
Yeah. It's almost like pseudo improv.
oh yeah. Oh, totally. And I love improv too. And you
Oh,
get to do that
really? Oh
with
my gosh. I don't know how people do that. I just don't think that quickly. I mean,
well, who I think people like Robin Williams and
oh,
that I mean, he was just a master. I mean,
such a gift. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
mhm.
to be able to just so swiftly be so witty. Oh, yeah,
Yes,
brilliant.
indeed. So, yeah, there's so many, like I said, there's just this business is so like you just don't know. Things are coming. It's nonstop, 24/7. I mean, we're auditioning, we're submitting, we're going to events, you're networking. I mean, meeting people, trying to connect. A big part of the biz is always networking.
Mm,
And that is it. That is part of the job. I mean,
mm.
I always say getting the acting job and being on set, that's like the easy part because all the rest of it is like just getting the gig. So it's not for the faint of heart for sure. And definitely as an older person, you discover energy you never thought you had because it is nonstop.
Yeah.
And it actually really teaches you discipline. So
Mm,
keeps you disciplined to take care of yourself, make sure you make time for your exercise and eating properly and getting auditions done and being where you need to be and going to events and all this kind of stuff and keeping a
wow.
really harsh schedule and yeah. So it's good. It keeps you really sharp. And as an older person, I think that's really important.
That's so much of it.
I always, when I say my age out loud, I'm like, oh my God, I don't even feel like half the age. And I think a lot of people feel like that too, because
Mm-hmm.
in your mind, you don't feel older because you are being so active and doing things and keeping yourself up to date with what's going on in the world and the business and stuff. So, yeah, I feel very, very lucky to see the hopefulness of getting older and the freedom of getting older. I think when you come from that approach, I think the
Yeah.
doors really open up.
Hit subscribe right now for more stories and inspiring conversations with me, Jennifer Norman, the host of the Human Beauty Movement podcast. Yeah, how incredible too. I was just talking to a friend the other day about the fact that when it was COVID time and my gym was shut down and I didn't get a chance to do the kind of exercise that I wanted to, I would get out of bed and I would be achy and sore and I felt old. I felt like, oh my God, my body is falling apart. And it is so important to make sure that you are moving. He always says motion is the lotion, which drives me crazy but it's true.
It
It's
is
true.
true.
But yeah, keeping yourself just active is so important for your health and longevity. And I feel younger now that I'm at the gym multiple times a week now again. And I just feel so much better. There's no aches, there's no pains, there's no like when I move quickly, I can respond. And to your point, I would love
Mm.
to hear about what your routine is and from a fitness or what your nutrition is and your beauty routine so that others might be able to learn a little bit about what it takes to be in prime shape as you are
Yeah, we try.
and working and all of that. I think that'll be really fun to hear.
Yes. So one thing I've done, and this is for all the youngsters out there, I started wearing like I wore sunscreen every day since I was like
Look at
19.
you.
And I mean multiple
Good for
times
you.
a
I
day.
did not. I was like laying on tinfoil at that age. I know. Good for you because yeah,
Do not do
sunscreen
that.
wasn't a
Do not
wasn't a
do
big
that.
Sunscreen wasn't a big deal back when we were younger, but now I think a lot of people know the dangers of it. Although it's funny,
Yes.
I just did a podcast where we were talking about a lot of people are doing like the anti-sunscreen thing now. And so, but we're like,
Yeah.
yes, please make sure you're wearing your sunscreen because it will
It,
help for vanity's sake or anything. But
it
from
does.
skin cancer to just like premature aging and all of that, it's like it's a miracle. So please use it.
Yes, it does make such a difference. And that was one thing that I always did. And I think that helped me out a lot. And now for exercise, I really love doing Pilates. And I do it
Mm.
at home. There's YouTube is a
Hmm.
plethora. If you can't get out to a studio, do it at home. Do the floor mats because it's so good. Yoga and
Hmm.
Pilates are just so good for your body. And what they do is they really work those muscles and you get that lean muscle and firmness. And that's
Hmm.
key as we get older is building muscle and lightweight,
Hmm.
etc. It's so vital as we get older to keep that muscle mass going. So, and to that point, I love my protein shakes. A girlfriend of mine
Hmm.
showed me how to start making them, and I love my protein, and I put in frozen bananas and avocado, and pumpkin is a great thing for them.
Fiber. Hmm.
Flaxseed, yeah, all that
Hmm.
stuff. Kale, and they fill you up, they keep you going, and you're getting a good nutrition base, at least in the morning.
Hmm.
And for me, I don't eat meat, so that's another thing and that's my personal choice. I just haven't for many years. But yeah, make sure you get a lot of your protein and then don't eat after 7. That's
Oh,
another
I
big
ate
thing.
my dinner at 9:30 last night.
Oh.
But I don't often do that, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another thing. Because and then of course the sleep. Oh, I mean, it's really I really have to like carve out time to make sure I get enough sleep because it's a full day. I'm up 6 a.m. and we're going and probably I mean, I like to get to bed by 10, but that does not always happen. So,
Hmm.
but yes, I love early mornings. I think
Mm.
starting early is a good
Hmm.
way to live.
Mm.
I just think for your internal clock and being productive. I mean, by 12, I started out at 5 this morning, I think. And yeah, I feel like I put in a full day almost, but I haven't. But you, you get things done. And like I was saying, this business is 24/7. So even when I wake up in the morning, I've already got all these emails of stuff that's going on. So manage your time well, but make sure you take care of you and make sure you make that time to get that 30 minutes at least of exercise a day and
Mm.
eat healthy and don't eat late and lots of water, all that kind of
Hmm.
stuff just makes such a big difference. It's very simple things, really. Ice cube, facial, just sticking your head in a bowl of ice.
Ice cube
Awesome. Oh
facials.
God, so good for
Yeah.
you. So
So
good.
you fill a
So good.
bowl with ice water and
Yeah.
you dunk your face in, and how long are you under, like, and do you
Yeah.
do that for like 5
Yeah.
minutes or?
Yeah, you just kinda you hold your breath for a bit, you go down, come up, go down again, and
Mhm.
if you can, cold showers are good or cool
Mhm.
showers. I love
Yeah, if
doing
you don't have
that.
access to a cold plunge, then yeah,
Ye
finish off your
yeah.
shower with a cold blast.
Yeah, it's so good for you, and then I love using, like, Moroccan oil as for my serum
Mm.
on my face. I mean, I put that on. That's the first thing I put on, and then I build
Mhm.
from there. I just think it just like with mature skin, it just really helps
Mm.
give you that supple, kind of dewy
Mhm.
look.
Yeah, the main ingredient in Moroccan oil is argan, and some people may know it's such a nutritious
Oh,
oil, and it feels really good on your skin, on your hair. A lot of people are
okay.
familiar with Moroccan oil, which is the brand name for the products that are used on the hair, and they just are really, really lovely, lovely. Try to
Yeah.
get fair trade if you can.
Yes.
Mm.
I keep it in the shower and I just use it all
Mm.
over. I just love it. Yeah, I find that really serves me well, especially if you have a tendency toward drier skin, which I do.
Mhm.
So yeah, simple things. Nothing has to be expensive or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just common sense. A lot of it is just making wise choices. No smoking, no drinking. That was one thing I never did, which I think has served me well. I never smoked or drank. I just didn't like the taste of alcohol. So that was
Mm.
lucky for me. But, and then managing your stress levels. I mean, I really think, like I was saying, getting older, you care less and things flow off your shoulders much more easily than they did in your 20s.
Oh,
It's a total mindset thing.
yeah.
And I have a son who's in his 20s, so I can see that going with him. And I try to advise him because I wish I had learned all that when I was his age. Again, I think just look at the big picture. And as long as you are healthy and you can deal with things, because problems are always going to come. That's a
Yeah.
guarantee. Life is always going to change and you're always going to be challenged. And you just got to go with it and do what you can and not beat yourself up and try to find the little pleasures in life and be as true to yourself as you can. And I think doing as much as we can for others is so rewarding for ourselves. I mean, I
Mhm.
always feel so good inside if I can do something for someone else. So
Mhm.
it really warms your heart. And I think being that kind person, treating people how you want to be treated. I mean, even as it sounds a cliche, but it's oh so true.
Mm,
I think
mm.
serves one well, especially
It
as we
really
get
does.
older. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually heard somebody talk about the different phases of our lives. The 3 phases is learning, earning, and returning, which I thought was kind of interesting and unique. In the first part of your life, you're trying to absorb so much. I actually think you should be learning all through your life personally, but I think, like, the majority of it is just, like, learning everything, and then a lot of people get into that section where it's like, "Okay, it's time for me to start earning and making this and building up my nest egg," and then
Yeah.
always being like, okay, afterwards, it's time for me to return and give back and like getting ready for like passing it on. You said so much, which is so important about just these simple things. And of course, like common sense is not so common, simple is not so simple but it's like you have to make that priority in your life to say, I want to be as healthy as I can be, not for anything, but just like you want to be around, you want to be able to feel good in your body. And it also impacts the way that your mind works. If you're not feeling good, if you're tired, if you're overworked. I mean, I was one of those youngsters who like worked hard, play hard. I was burning the candle at every end. I did smoke. I did drink. I still every once in a while I'll drink, but I
Yeah.
do not smoke anymore. And I just said, you know what? I really want to be the best that I can be as healthy as I can. That doesn't mean that I don't have cheat days and all that, but
Yeah, of course.
it's like, yeah, but live your life and live it with this attitude that you're going to just like enjoy every day with gratitude and have passion and enthusiasm for the work that you're doing, for the value that you're creating, for the impact that you're having on the people, on yourself and on the people around you and on the world around you. And life just rewards you. It just becomes so much richer. And, your perspective is one of abundance. And it just really shines so much more brightly on you when you can have that kind of perspective. And so I think that it's just so wonderful to bring you on and to have you as just a perfect example of what it is like to be just like this woman who's in her prime, who continues to recognize her gifts and to be able to take care of yourself. Because when you take care of yourself, you're taking care of everybody else too in a better
Wow.
way. You can't take care of other people. You can't do your best job if you're not taking care of yourself first. And, so many women, I think in particular, are used to serving others first, and then they're depleting themselves and they forget about themselves. They're like, I don't have time for myself. I don't have time to take care of myself. I don't have time to eat right. I don't have time to do this or that. But make time. You deserve it. You deserve
You
it.
deserve it, and you're going to help others
Yeah.
while doing that. So
Yeah.
know your worth. And
Hmm.
we, as women, we typically don't learn that till later in life if we're
Isn't that
lucky.
true?
If we're
It's so
lucky,
true.
and especially like my mom's generation, it's much harder for them to know their worth. And
Mhm.
we've really come a long way as women, and
Mhm.
it's so great to see because we have so much to bring to the table.
Mhm.
We really do. And I think it's really great when we can collaborate with others and we're all in this game of life together and
Yeah.
building from that as much as possible and recognizing differences and saying, okay, everyone can have their opinion. That's fine. But we also have one common goal, which is to live on this earth together. We're
Yeah.
stuck with each other. So let's try and make it a good one, until
So
Elon
true.
puts us on the planet. We'll see.
Amazing. So, if you could give one message to women who are considering a creative career reinvention, something like that later in life, what would your word of advice be?
Have no fear and don't
Mm,
worry about what anyone else thinks. Just do it. But do
just
it. But do it. Don't think
yeah.
about it. Don't talk about it. Just do it.
That's what we do. We get in our heads, we overthink things. We're like, oh, well, what if? Yeah, it's like, just do it. Just do it. Like, life's
Oh,
too short. Just have a sense of humor about it. It's like, oh, well,
yes,
just have fun. Do it. Try it. What do you got
indeed.
to lose?
Indeed.
Nothing.
You have nothing to lose.
No
You really do.
ego.
And like they always say, the worst thing is to live with regret. And it truly
Yeah,
is. So if you see you as worthwhile, that becomes much easier just to go
that's
for it.
true. Hmm.
So know you have it inside of you to create what it is you want to create, and then it all gets much easier at that point.
Yes, for sure. Oh. Now, Kimberly, to end, I always ask three constant questions of every guest, which are a reminder of what connects us all, our beauty, our humanity, and the truths that we live by. So, my first question to you is, what makes you beautiful?
I think I try to be really kind to others, and I think
Mm,
that's what is my
yeah,
beauty.
kindness is the biggest beauty secret. Second question, what does it mean to be human?
Means to be empathetic.
Oh, great answer. And third question, what's one truth you live by?
Well, again, do unto others as you would have unto yourself. So
Yeah,
treat people as you
golden
want to be
rule.
treated. It is always been something I really live by, even as a younger person.
Mm,
Yeah, I have a real sense of fairness in my head. At least I try to. And I feel that steers you well in life. So
it does. Oh, well, beautiful humans, this is Kimberly Kim. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for being my guest on the Human Beauty Movement podcast. Can't wait to see you in your next roles ahead. Thank you so much.
all right. Thank you again. I appreciate your time, and it was a blast.
Thank you for listening to the Human Beauty Movement podcast. Be sure to follow, rate, and review us wherever you stream podcasts. The Human Beauty Movement is a community-based platform that cultivates the beauty of humankind. Check out our workshops, find us on social media, and share our inspiration with all the beautiful humans in your life. Learn more at thehumanbeautymovement.com. Thank you so much for being a beautiful human.